Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B, and I'm sitting here at my tree doing some grounding and some purging, trying to pray for some miracles to befall me. I said all the way along this journey that I would keep things in as real time as I could and be authentically real when shifts and change and tower moments and ego death and all this other crazy stuff that's happening on this awakening path is happening. So the last couple of weeks have been exceptionally stressful for me. I have mentioned in other videos that my house has been in litigation for over a year now, since my mother's passing. I'm trying to save my home for me and kids, and it's been a process and a half trying to do that. And the stress has been intense. The doubt, the worry, the insecurity, the fears, the impending doom, which comes with trauma brain. It's been crazy. So it's like going through another full round of ego death, which brings me to the topic of core wounds. Core wounds. What the hell are core wounds? Yes, I asked the same question. When I first started down the twin flame journey after my Kundalini awakening, and I was starting to do a whole bunch of research to figure out what the bleep was happening to me, because twin flame journey is not a romance by no means. It's a transformation. It's the trigger for your awakening. It's altering you on every level, and I felt like I was going through changes in my physical appearance, changes in my behaviors, changes in my likes and dislikes, changes in my external situations, changes in the things that I resonated with, my coping mechanisms. It's like one after another. It's like a healing journey on speed or steroids, and the speed in which everything changes and alters is astronomical. I really wouldn't wish a twin flame journey on anyone, to be honest with you. I don't know why people seek this stuff out. I certainly wasn't seeking it out. It found me. It was my soul's destiny to have this Kundalini and have this awakening process. And as a healer, I've been going through what's known as shaman's initiation. And, you know, the first rule of being a true healer is heal thyself. So I've been on, as you know, through this entire last 2.5 years, an intense healing journey where all of my focus has been a full-time job of healing my life. So after I got COVID, as you know, I was diagnosed with 1,000,001 things wrong with me, mentally, physically, emotionally. I also lost my job right when COVID lockdowns started. So my job became healing, and I treated it like a job. I treated it like a full-time job. And every single day I would get up and I would walk about 5K in aligned walking. I would do my yin yoga. I would do my purging and my healings and the shadow work and the inner child work and all the trauma releases and all this stuff, like every single day. There wasn't a day that passed. I didn't take breaks. I didn't take weekends off. I didn't go to the movies. I healed. Every single day I healed, and that's why I transformed from a vastly obese, sickly person into a very skinny, completely different, altered personality person. The things that were important to me 2.5 years ago are not important to me in the slightest. I've been whittled down to bare bones of coming into a sense of truth, into a sense of authenticity. In so doing, I've changed. in every conceivable way. If you see who I used to be in photographs and see who I am now, if you talked to me, if you knew me 2.5 years ago and know me now, you'd know that I'm a completely different person. And this journey has been intense, like incredibly intense, incredibly overwhelming, incredibly difficult. I see a lot of people go through an awakening journey and they flow with great ease, like they're out on a surfboard going, whee, this is fun. And mine's been more like a child having a temper tantrum on the floor, or holding on for dear life. Chris Foley video where you see him rolling down the hill and trying to hold on to little shrubs. Yeah, that would describe my awakening, is holding on to dear life things that inevitably would break away and have me plummeting down further. And all the things that broke away were everything from my 3D relationships to any sense of security. When I started researching about twin flame journey, there was a lot of talk about like core wounds. And I was like, well, what's my core wound? Geez, I have so many of these wounds. Which one of them are core? I would talk to other twins and they'd be like, my core wound is in my solar plexus. And I'm like, how do you even know that? I guess over time I figured out my core wounds are in my root chakra, feeling of safety and stability. And as this situation with my house has been looming over me and threatening, and if anybody's ever had dealings with lawyers and banks, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming beyond words. It has come into my awareness in the last week or so as I've one by one exhausted and fought harder than you can possibly imagine, and looked and asked all the places that I could think of to solve the problems, and come up relatively empty-handed at this stage. I'm waiting on a miracle. It makes me realize is what's been expressed is this needed to happen. This situation needed to happen, as unpleasant as it has been, to squeeze out those core wounds. And those core wounds are located in my lower back. The first 3 vertebrae, where I do a lot of trigger point therapy, have been in excruciating pain for, well, always, my entire life, really, if I think about it. And the more I've released the trauma through body work, through a lot of body work and a lot of trigger point release, my pains in my bodies have dissipated. Because at one stage I was in chronic pain everywhere. Now I'm in chronic pain in my lower spine, 3 vertebrae, and then this tooth situation that still isn't resolved. It feels like being electrocuted 24/7. I believe that more to do with Kundalini energy, but that's a different video. Let's get back to the root. The area right tucked, nestled tight into the spine of the last 3 vertebrae have been in excruciating pain. As I've walked and realigned my posture, and as I've done yoga and stretched out the fascia and stretched out the musculature, and as I've done daily healings on my spine, which include trigger point release, as well as the acupressure mat that I've used, as well as infrared therapy. I mean, you name it, I've tried it. Hydrotherapy, I'll do anything. And I have done everything in my power to resolve this situation as fast as humanly possible. 4 years to go from where I was to where I am is I'm going to give myself a little bit of pride and a little bit of kudos, because what I've done is quite remarkable. Unfortunately, I needed to do it double time and then get myself in a position where I was well enough that I was also gainfully employed and had 2 years pack history with my income taxes to be eligible for a loan from the bank, so that I could buy out and equalize the will and blah, 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 So the timing of everything just was not working for me. It just was working against me. Divine time is its own time. It's like island time. Divine time is going to happen as things are meant to happen, and they're orchestrated to happen. And as frustrating as it has been to be in a state of, if I could just go a little bit faster, if I could just accomplish these things a little, and I mean, I've been running to not only fix my health, but build the you movement and turn that into something that becomes something that can provide for my family. And that squeeze, that tight squeeze, has been squeezing me bit by bit by bit to get to that core wound. And what is that core wound? Well, that core wound is the ultimate fear of homelessness. Because, as you know, I was adopted at 2.5, and before I was adopted, I used to live out of a little blue suitcase with flowers on it, big flowers, like 1970s style flowers. I don't know what happened to that suitcase, but I'll remember that's my earliest memory, is that suitcase. When I saw that suitcase come out, I would be like, oh no, here we go again. Where am I going to move to now? Where am I going to sleep? Where am I going to go? So in this process, feeling the threat of losing my home, it's triggered all these core wounds. And the core wounds, so at times my mind is like in child mind. It's not seeing, where normally I'm quite intelligent and able to piece together, well, first I do this and then I do that and then I can do this and I can solve this, because I fix things. That's what I do. I fix things. When you're in child mind, when you're in that place of trauma being released and trauma being expressed, your mind is not thinking the way that a 51-year-old mind thinks. And I've done a lot of videos on trauma release, recommended 1,000,000 times over the book Complex Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder: From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, and I highly recommend that because it's very insightful and it relieves a lot of the inner critic, which wants to beat you up and go, well, look what you've done, you've gotten yourself into this position and you got yourself unhealthy, and then you had to get healthy, and then you had to put your needs first, and then you had to do this, and then the timing of this worked out like that, and then you weren't able to do this, and like it's like being in a boxing ring with Muhammad Ali, my inner critic. One of my dearest friends calls her Karen. And that's a good name for my inner critic, and I'll go with it, Karen the inner critic, because she wants to complain about absolutely everything under the sun. So I understand the spiritual point of this whole process and this journey. That doesn't make it any easier. I'm still not on that surfboard going with the flow of things. I still holding on to my last semblances of threads of hope, a wing and a prayer that either God will manifest a miracle for me or some solution can be brokered. And that's because I've learned another very important life lesson on this, which is really about what is important. What is truly at the root of importance or value in your life? To me, that's providing the place of safety and security. That's helping people out of suffering. That's love for self and love for others. That's helping all the wounded inner children out there. The more that I have opened up my heart chakra through this process, that first heart activation that happens after you have soul recognition with your twin, your heart chakra is blasted open and then continues to go through multiple activations after that of getting more and more and more, and the capacity for love that I feel is like nothing I've ever experienced before. And it's non-conditional. My love for people, for all of you that follow me, for everyone, whether I know you or not, I have a sense of love, and that doesn't require a love back. It doesn't require you need to show up, which is where it used to be. Obviously anyone who's on the twin flame journey knows that, you feel this unbelievable love for somebody and there's nothing you want more than to be with them. And that's not what the journey is. They go and run. That's what they do. And you're like, no, don't do that. Come back. And you're left there sitting there thinking, how can God show me this love and then take it away? And that's the point, is because you're in an energy of conditions. You're in an energy, but you need to talk to me, and you need to text me back, and you need to do this, you need to do that. And as long as you're in that energy of what can I get back, you're not in an energy of unconditional love. And so this process for the last 2.5 years has been like breaking me open more and more and more and more, so that I could be in an energy of just loving. I love like I've never loved before. Like, wow, it's powerful. There's that song by Whitney Houston, "Show Me the Love," or something like that. I know I listened to a spiritual version of it with chanting and stuff, and Sanskrit. But anyways, that's another thing. Yes, I am so many things all at the same time today, and you probably are too, because the shifts and the changes that are happening as we get squeezed more and more in this ascension process is squeezing out all the gunk and squeezing out all the core wounds and squeezing out all our attachments to people, places, things. And I don't give a crap about things. I really don't. Yeah, like, sure, I like my artwork on my walls, and I like having a bed to lay my head, but I'm not really a thing-oriented person. I'm a people-oriented person, and I just want to love people, and I just want to provide and protect and heal people and help them transition through their tough times, because with the experiences that I've had over the last 2.5 years, like, whoa, do I have some insight to share. And so I know a lot of twins seek me out and ask for some assistance along this path. And if you're a twin and you need some help on this journey, please feel free to reach out and help me, because it helps me to help you, and it helps my family and everything else to help you as well. You know, that exchange of energy is very valued and appreciated, as well as I feel such love and gratitude for all the likes and the shares and the support that I've had along my own journey and along the creation and the development of the You movement. The more I can get the messages out of like saying, hey, you know, this stuff has helped me transmute all these traumas and all these wounds and get me to this place where I can be in love and gratitude, even facing my worst fears. I want to assist you on that journey as well. And so I guess today's message is really about, I'm trying to ground, as I sit myself here, and ground the love, the gratitude, the surrender that is required, the God's time, and the understanding that things will happen as they will, and you got to let go of control over it and just let go. So all of that said, sending you all my love if you are struggling on this twin flame journey or spiritual awakening or any kind of awakening that you're having. I understand. And you're not alone. And I'm not alone. That's what it boils down to. It's just love. Just lots and lots and lots of love.